Welcome, Anne. It is so amazing to have you here for a little chat. Thank you for coming on a cold, wintry Monday. Well, wintry and cold for me, but you're up in sunny Brisbane, right?
Well, it's sunny, but it's still pretty cold actually for
Oh,
Brisbane.
actually, I can see the cardigan, so that is a bit of a
Yes.
giveaway. I've got the hardcore winter knits on here,
Yes.
but yeah, okay, good. So not feeling too like I'm missing out on the warm weather. It's yeah, really lovely of you to stop by and have a little chat with me. For those of you that don't know, Anne is a bit of a superstar, really. She features in the the movie Seeing the Film, which is an amazing documentary, parenting documentary made in Australia. And in case you've all been living under a rock, you might not know, but I am a huge fan. And I've been flogging it on my socials endlessly. So I'm absolutely thrilled that we were able to kind of connect and have this little chat today. And has very kindly agreed to do a little Q&A with me, so I can have a proper fangirl moment.
Just an average mum, by the way. No superstar.
No such thing. No such
No
thing.
such thing.
All right. Well, we'll kick it off with the first question. We've had a little chat before we hit record, so I feel like I already have the lowdown on this. But just for the people who might be able to watch this down the track, how did you become involved in the movie? Like, how did that all unfold? What was that process?
So I have been friends with Samantha Jockel, the producer with Sam, for a while now. I gotten to know her because I moved in across the road from her for a little while.
Perfect.
When I divorced my husband, I moved just suburbs a little bit and ended up moving in across the road from Sam, and that's how I got to know her. And live a little bit up the road now, but we're still really good friends. And yeah, at some point she just went like, we should, I mean, she's always, done parent TV and I know her work
Yeah.
she's doing, and um it kind of just started with like, oh, maybe we should, maybe we're gonna make a documentary. We should make a documentary. And I'm like, yeah, we should make a documentary.
Yeah.
Should make a documentary. Yes. She's like, would you like come along? Like, would you be willing? I'm like, sure, whatever. I'm like, sure, I'm in.
Oh, I love that.
Started.
We all need a friend in our life who's just like, yep, 100% I'm there. Whatever your, wild, crazy,
Yeah.
excitable idea is, that they're down for it. I love those friends. We all need those. And so once you said yes and it actually was happening, what was the process like for you to kind of share your story?
It was so I had like a pre-interview with Haley, the
Yeah.
director. So she interviewed, I don't know how many, but a few people just to see, what story would fit and what person would kind of fit in the documentary together.
Yeah.
And then that went really well. I was really comfortable with Haley. I had heard about Haley just from her work in between and on Instagram and that before. Was quite comfortable with her. And then we had the day of the filming, the interview.
Yeah.
And that was actually it was I mean, it was really uncomfortable to start with, which you can see in the movie as well, as I sit down and say, like, my name's Anne and I work from home, if anyone needs to know. So
I love
that
that
was
bit because it's
literally the first
so relatable.
2 minutes of me filming, sitting on a chair in front of cameras and like all this
Yeah.
equipment and like Haley, and I'm like, oh, okay. Um, so
So
but
nerve-wracking.
then overall, like the interview was once I kind of gotten used to, sitting there on a chair in the spotlight, which is not my
Yeah.
most comfortable. But once I kind of gotten used to that, like it was really easy, actually. It was really just flowing. I think it never hit me what I've actually done here. It hasn't hit me until I've seen it in the movies for the first time.
Yeah.
Once I sat down in that seat in that room full of like 200 strangers and it like started, that's when I had a little panic attack and I went like, what did I do?
Oh boy, run for the exit.
So it
Yeah.
took that long for me to realize. But until then, I just went like, yeah, it's fine. It's great. I love it. And I'm back at that.
Okay,
But
good.
at that stage, I was like, what did I do? Oh my God.
Yes, because I can imagine how confronting that is because you're sharing such a vulnerable
Yeah.
story. And I love how you do sit down at the beginning and you say, I work from home or I'm at stay at home. I'm like for whoever cares kind of thing. Because it's like you completely disregard your importance, but actually your importance is you are important and your story is important. And that's the realness of what I love about this film is how people can actually connect to that bit. You
Yeah,
know, they're like, oh, she's like me. You know, you're so relatable, and all of the people and all of the stories are so relatable. And
yeah.
that's the essence of it, I think,
That's
in many
that's
ways.
absolutely. And again,
Yeah.
that's also why I would never label myself as a superstar.
Yeah.
I'm just a mum. Like I'm really just an average mum, yeah, trying to change
Yeah.
the things I had
Yeah.
encountered and changing them for my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
guess I would argue that the average mum and dad aren't talking about this stuff. And maybe that's where the power in it lies,
Yes,
right? Because
absolutely.
there's a lot of, societal expectation and there's a lot of shame around some of those big feelings that we can have. Like we don't actually want to go and even to our best friends talk about, some of our behaviors or some of the bits that are not so comfortable, those what we call in therapy our growth edges. um yeah, we talk about it in play therapy all the time, the polarity of things, or in Jung, which I'm studying at the moment, our shadow. We don't want to talk about that stuff. It's really confronting to have to look in the mirror. And yeah, so those things are often shut down. And so I think that's where, it's so powerful that you are there on camera sharing all that stuff because man, it's effective. It really is.
Good.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I can imagine how cringy it was at the beginning for you.
yeah, I think I've just over the last few years, I've just kind of put that down. I'm just blatantly authentic.
Love that.
And it's been amazing. Like it's
Yeah.
actually so liberating and just
So
like
liberating.
putting down those expectations and those, and quite honestly, I don't know how to talk like a typical average person anyway. Like I can't go to a birthday party for my kids and just
Yeah.
chat to other parents. Like within minutes, I'm like, so what's your childhood trauma?
Yeah.
I just can't. Like it's
Wow,
very
it's
hard
like looking
for
in the
me.
mirror. I am exactly the same. Like, can't do small talk. Meet somebody for the first second,
Oh,
and within 3 minutes, you're
no.
unpacking all your stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
because it's about that. It's about relationship and about the connections that we make with people, right? So
Yeah.
I think probably the work you do now and the work that I do, we're always looking to make meaning.
Yeah.
Right? We want to make meaning for everything. And part of that is understanding our own stories and understanding the person in front of us and their story. I think that's a really beautiful thing. Yeah.
And I think as well, by being authentic and by sharing your story vulnerably, you're giving permission to the other person to do the same
Yeah,
and to not
100%.
feel like they have to uphold this standard or this picture perfect that they're trying
Yeah.
this expectation. So, and I mean, I never had that. So I love that I can maybe be that for other people.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
almost like a permission. It's like, no, look, you're okay. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can be this
Absolutely.
and you can have feelings and you can not know what you're doing and you just
Yeah. And
run
it's
with it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% a permission thing. And I think, when you said, I don't know how to not be authentic now, it's like once you honor that and you are that, there's no going back from that. You can't then not do that stuff anymore because you just can't. There's no place for that. And I love, but there is a lot of connotations still about that. Some of the things that we get, hung up on in terms of the shoulds and whatnot. And I love the bit in the film where Zydia says she owns what her story was, and she's kind of ashamed to say that. And she said it's so ugly. It's an ugly thing to say.
Yeah.
And so even though there's a vulnerability and we want to give permission for that, it is still such a difficult thing for a lot of people to come to terms with.
Well, it's hard to admit that because
Totally.
it's it comes with a lot of shame and guilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shame and guilt is really hard to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really hard to share that. And it needs a very safe space to be able to share that.
Yeah.
and not not a lot of places and people can be safe enough for you yourself to explore that
Yes.
and to admit to the shame and guilt. Shame and guilt are
Yeah.
just they're huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are huge. And I see it in the kids and the families I work with all the time. It's big. Um, yeah, in the film, you talk a lot about the Circle of Security program and how that was really your kind of aha moment, your wake up call. What was it about the program that particularly kind of resonated for you?
I think up until then, no one had ever held space for me.
Mm,
I didn't know what that means to hold space for someone. I didn't know what it means to just be with your feelings. Up
yeah.
until then, it was always, oh, well, that's uncomfortable. Let's fix it. Let's make it go away. Let's not
Mm,
sit with that because it's scary. And so that was all like obviously through my upbringing, but even through my own expectations and through just who I was and who surrounded me, I had never experienced to just be okay with my feelings. Like they were scary and they were had to go away as quickly as possible. So to, as I say in the movie, to just sit there and for the psychologist to just sit there and watch me and tell me, yeah, that's really hard.
hard,
Like
yeah.
my insight was just like, just stop, just make it stop. Like, whoa, this is so terrible. And I think that was the first time that someone just said, I can see this is really hard for you, full stop. And there was no
Mm.
but and no, but here's tissues, or let's like talk about something else, or think about something positive. Like,
Oh boy.
well, that's like that was my normal. That was what I
Yeah.
had encountered until then. That's what I thought. That's what we do with feelings. We just think about something positive, and then they go away. Um,
Hmm.
so that was a profound experience to me. And then it was
Yeah.
obviously at that point really, really difficult for me to deal with, and with the realization of what I had done until then, and just everything came kind of bubbling up. And there was a lot there that I'd stuffed down for many years. So, but yeah, it was also a profound experience in the sense of, oh, okay, like it's safe. I'm okay. Like I just felt something and I'm still alive. Like I did
Yes.
down and I'm actually still okay. Like, okay, this is possible.
Mm.
So and only through learning that on my own, like as in on my own body with someone else helping me, I could then actually do that for my children. Because I tried doing that.
Yes.
I read about it that you can just sit with them and that'll be okay. But it didn't work. And it didn't work because it wasn't coming from my heart. It was
Yeah.
coming from my head. I read the book. I know what to do. I just need to sit here. But my insight was like, oh my God, stop.
Yes.
And that's the child obviously receives the vibe and the energy. And
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
so that's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Wasn't the words were there, but the heart wasn't in it. I didn't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't do better then
Yeah.
until I had lived it myself, until someone has done that for me and I was able to understand that it is okay to sit with the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so powerful. And I think with the families that I work with, that's the bit that they get unstuck on all the time. And I love in the movie how you're like, I've read all the books. It's almost like my kid's not doing his part. Like, I'm
Yeah.
doing my bit, but the kid's not doing, like, if only
Oh,
they did this, this, and that.
in
Like,
the
come
book
on,
said
read the book, get with
this
the
was
program. Like, it's not hard.
oh,
It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah, the families that I work with, and it's really common because we say in therapy that you can't give what you've never had.
yes.
And so it's all very well me saying to the parent, oh, well, so now this is where we need to give the child an empathic response. And they're like, oh, I don't know what that is. How do I do that? You know,
But
Yeah, so you absolutely nailed that, because you're right. You have to have that lived experience. You have to heal that part of you that never received that.
yeah,
And it's not a judgment, because I don't know anyone who's kind of that, this kind of age group who really did grow up with that. It would be a real anomaly, right? Most people didn't have that emotional vocabulary growing up. They didn't have parents who could sit with their feelings and their emotions, let alone their child's. And so it was a void and shut down and, oh, look at that shiny thing over there, whatever it was to cope. Um, and so when their kids come and they have those big feelings and the discomfort is palpable, they just want it to stop. And they will do whatever kind of coping strategy that they've learned in order to get that to happen. And, communication is just behavior, right?
yeah.
It's just all behavior is communication. It's all the same. It's like the child is showing you something. They're trying to communicate something with you. And if you get it and you can reflect that back to them, then the behaviors just dissipate almost immediately. Because I
Well,
feel like there's not really a human on this planet that doesn't want to be seen and heard and loved.
I always like to say behind every behavior is an unmet need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really what it is. If there's a behavior, then we need to try and figure out, well, what's behind that behavior.
Yeah. And get
No,
curious about that.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I agree completely. It's a lot of the work that we do. And so it was very similar to hear your story, because I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I'm nodding furiously in the cinema, like, yes, all the things, yes. I love how in the film, sort of just moving on from that circle of security program, how you say everything changed. And you kind of laugh about it. You're like, no, everything changed. And I'm like just interested to know whether it was a slow burn process change, or are we talking more like volcanic explosion, the world turned upside down change?
I think both in a way. Like it was slow to some degree because it wasn't just like boom overnight. No, everything, I have to burn everything down and start from scratch.
Yeah.
But because it was obviously that like we're talking like heartbreaking things. Like everything changed, and where I am now is where I want to be. But holy shit, like that meant I had to leave my husband. And
Yeah.
I mean, that meant I had to figure that part out. And that wasn't pretty or fun. That's not what I wanted to do. And,
Yeah.
everything was well on the outside, the picture was looking great. And to go and well destroy that to some degree, or to just remove that and restructure it was not pretty and not easy. It's
Yeah.
but again, I think it was just necessary for myself. um and also I do not believe in staying in a relationship just for the kids.
Hmm.
I strongly believe that the children learn what a relationship looks like from watching their caregivers or their parents or their grandparents or whoever it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh,
Their template.
yes, and I didn't know that I was allowed to have my own dreams and expectations and to actually follow them.
Yeah.
So no one's shown me that. So I was like, well, I need to do that for myself, but also for my kids so that they know. Obviously, it was really sad for them too. And they, had lots of feelings about this that we talked about. But it is also really important to me that they know they don't have to actually stay in a relationship if they're not happy, no matter
Yeah.
how perfect it might look to the outside. If that is not what they want or where they want to be, then there's nothing wrong with them for feeling that,
Yeah.
and they can change that.
Yeah. And that's such a powerful thing to do, because I think a lot of people do get stuck into that mindset of, we got to do it for the children. But you're absolutely right. I feel like that's, the one thing that you are giving as a gift to your children is that template of what a healthy relationship looks like. And first of all, it has to be that healthy relationship you have with yourself.
Yes.
Yes. And then the relationships that we create with other people close to us from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the work that you're doing now, because obviously you've gone kind of that full circle and you're a facilitator now for Circle of Security program. So I wonder what that journey's been like for you and how much of you is in the teaching that you offer.
Um, so it just all fell into place as well, I guess, a little bit. Like, but again, we're talking like 5 years time, from me doing the Circle of Security course myself to then actually becoming a facilitator. And
Yeah.
in between, I've figured out who I am and where I want to be and who I want to be with and who I want to surround myself with and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And I think in the work that I do now with Circle of Security, it is so deeply fulfilling and brings me so much joy. And how much of me is in there, I don't know. It's hard to see actually. And I mean, the Circle of Security as well, it's a very structured program.
Yeah.
So um I would take the caregivers through that program, but obviously there's a lot in me in there in the way of how I do that and how I create a safe space for them to explore for themselves. Um, so I don't think of myself as a teacher. I don't teach them the Circle of Security class. I kind of more am alongside with them while they discover an experience for themselves. And then again, my job is to just hold space for them for whatever comes
Yes.
up.
Yeah. And so beautifully soulful work. And I
Yeah.
think there's a real similarity in the work that you're doing and the work that we're doing. And, it's very difficult to separate yourself from it. And that lived experience brings everything and that richness to the work you do. And it's so, so beautifully important. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yay. I'm curious to know which is your favorite part of the film.
Oh, good question. I don't know if I have one. I think I think that I really relate to Terry and that like when everyone kind of usually chuckles in the cinema as well, when he says like, oh, I should make them get back here and finish their dinner, or I can just
Or,
put it in a container and put it in the fridge.
yeah.
And I find that just so relatable and
Yeah.
so just like just flick that switch, just give it that
Yep.
second and just because we all, as he says, we all have these thoughts because they're programmed and they
Mm.
might, they lessen and I don't have them like necessarily every day all the time anymore. But that still happens sometimes that I'm like, my first initial thought is like, oh, what are you doing? And then I'm like, something very age appropriate.
Damn it.
But
Yes.
it's just because it's your own, well, in Circle of Security, we call it shark music, your own
Yes. Yeah.
and your own
Yeah.
anxiety that like, oh my God, but if I don't make them do this now, then and for me, when I was a very young mother with my firstborn, I had bad anxiety and him not having a nap would end up with him in jail when he's 18.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Of course.
dramatizing was on point.
I can see that.
So I think, yeah, just having Terry explain that and just give that as an example is for me very relatable.
Yeah, I love that too. His whole reframing of things and all the little tidbits he gives during the time. I think that's beautiful. I'm not surprised you struggle to find a moment because there's so many great moments. How funny is Maggie? Like she's so funny.
Pedaling
I
up the
wasn't
river of
prepared.
denial.
I know, pedaling backwards up the river of denial. I'm like, it's so funny. And then, like in the Q&A after we hosted a couple of the screenings, the Q&A that she does is really funny. The
Yeah,
way she talks
she's a
about
character.
boys, like, yeah, she's a character.
Yeah.
That was very unexpected and exciting for me to see. And I
Yeah.
think too, when Zydia speaks, her like the way she kind of draws you into her story would just kind of take your breath away.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are so in it with her.
I
Um,
relate to Zydia a lot too. Like
yeah,
the moments
same.
where I'm like, oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Yeah, but I think that's one of the magic bits of the, well, the entirety of the film really is that relatableness, and how
Yeah.
I would say to people, come and see this film because you kind of, you'll see yourself in every one of the stories. Like I could relate to you, I could relate to Terry, I could relate to pretty much, there was something in everyone's story that was really relatable. And I think that's such a gift. And
Yeah.
the way that we connect to the stories, and that's fundamentally what we all want to do, right? We all want to connect with each other and find
And
that
that's the
connecting
point
place.
as well, like showing that it's not just you, and there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
you for having these thoughts and feelings. And there's nothing, you're not alone with that. And it's not just you who has shame and guilt and things that are hard in parenting. It's
yeah,
literally every person, and not everyone talks
yeah.
about this. Yes,
And not everyone talks
especially
about
not to
it.
that extent.
Yeah,
But I think it's so important to open up that conversation
yeah,
because,
yeah,
and that's again, that's why I struggle to go to a to a birthday party for one of my children for school or something, and not talk to it, because I'm like, I can see, I can sense
yeah,
that you as
yeah,
well are struggling, and
yeah,
yet you're not allowed to open up. And so I I just blatantly blurt out whatever's happening for me. So if someone asks me, so how are you doing? I'll be like, oh, well, this and this and this is happening. And they're like, oh.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
sometimes,
like, okay.
oh, sorry, you asked
Yeah,
me,
no
but
filter.
yes.
But I think that's so good. I am the same. I'm like, what is there's a funny meme about that where it's like you might be quiet, but like your face has got the subtitles. Like it's like it's all there to be seen. It's like, oh, I think I relate to that bit too. And I've been on my own little journey with the film too. Like I was saying to you before, I watched the 3-minute trailer, and the minute I saw it, I was like, oh, this, how can I get this out to as many people as possible? And so I've seen it 4 times now. Um, and the last screening I did, I kind of sat there and I looked around the audience, and I'm like, you know what? It's great you're all here. And I know that you're going to get stuff out of it. But there was this quiet part of me that wondered if they're the right target audience, right? Because the people who were in the room were people who were curious about that stuff, who wanted to know, who had enough maybe capacity to be able to dip their toe in into those concepts and have a little think about that and how that might be, might resonate with their own lives. And they were pretty educated and pretty reflective people. And I sat there and I thought, whilst there's a gift in this for you, because there's always learning to come, and I know that it'll be hugely validating for a lot of people in there, and that's great too. But I did have this feeling of, but there's families that I know it would be actually life changing for, and they're not here.
Yeah.
And so if you had unlimited capacity to get this film out to anyone, money, resources, nothing was a problem. Who would you share this film with? How would you share it out there?
That's a big question.
I know, sorry.
Mainly as well because I had nothing to do with the, sharing of the film very much. It's all been Sam's work, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah.
done an amazing job. Um, so, but I think for me personally, I've been obviously to a few screenings myself in the cinemas, but also at communities like on the Sunshine Coast. We were at a school, for example, like at nighttime with the parents. But that is for me where it is, because for me this is all about connection. So in the
Mm.
movies, it all feels very superstar, glamoury, kind of like, oh, I'm in the movies. But it's a very different feel when you're actually sitting in a school hall and
Yeah,
sharing it like with parents that way. It feels a lot more
yeah,
intimate and a lot more connecting for me.
yep,
Um, and so I think if I would have unlimited time and resources, I would want to travel and go to different schools and just
yeah,
present it
yeah,
like that and do a Q&A
yeah,
afterwards if that's what people like to do. Like, I'm very
yeah.
open to, sharing what I'm about or what they might like to know. Or I don't know. Again, I don't see myself as a superstar with, but I'm very open to chatting about things and to connecting. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, in the real world,
Yeah,
obviously I have two children and not unlimited time and resources.
Yes, no, that's right.
But
And I
yeah,
feel a little bit the same. You know, we had our first screening in a hall, a community hall, which was amazing, and collaborated with a really great a local community group that really worked with men and all of the sort of social disadvantages that they might face, and isolation and mental health and that kind of space. So I was really happy to connect with them. And then the
yeah,
second screening was at our local primary school. And so exactly what you say, we're in this school and in this community, and it is really connecting like that. It is really like we're all in this together, and there's all that great, you know, there's a lot of good. And there's always going to be good. Every time you see that, every time somebody's eyes and ears are on that film, good will come from it. And so, you know, I don't doubt that the way that it's been promoted hasn't been for the best, because I think it has been able to give it back to the community so that they can do their own hostings and screenings in which way that
absolutely.
they want to. I think that's such a gift. It's amazing. But yeah, if I think about, oh, I would imagine screening it in every maternity hospital, if in any, like, you know, maternal child health group, you know, mums group when they're just starting out, or taking it to remote community and showing it there. My daughter is currently teaching and living in Nhulunbuy in East Arnhem Land, and she
Mhm.
saw a screening of it there. I've been banging on about it for ages, and she got to see a local screening of it in Gove, which was amazing. And she said, "Mum, it was really profound. Like, there was a lot of people who it really hit home and hit hard, and there was a lot of crying, and there's, you know, it, yeah, it was that. That's the bit I think that for me is incredibly powerful. Is that bit? Is that bit where those people are really vulnerable, and there's probably is a lot of intergenerational trauma, and there's a lot of disadvantage, and so having that is extra powerful and important. Still powerful, important in my local school where that didn't happen. That didn't seem to be the same thing. But I did love watching how it landed for everybody was different.
Yeah.
You know, there's the people like me who can't shut up about it. And then there's people who are really quietly reflecting on, I wonder what that might mean, and just kind of percolating those ideas over for themselves. And I think there's a beauty in that as well. So yeah, I kind
And
of
I
do.
think the other important part of it is that aftercare to some extent.
Yes.
And that's also why, it wasn't just chucked up onto YouTube or Netflix and, go ahead, watch it. It's
Yeah.
there is obviously resources from the team, but it's I think that's just as important as watching the movie is offering a space where parents then can go and connect or find out more or dig a bit deeper because
Yeah.
as it might also just stay at that, and which is also okay obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
but to have that offer there I think is really important.
I agree. And before the screenings that we hosted, you know, I did a little spiel saying that, like, you know, Circle of Security program is mentioned in the film, but the one thing I love about it is that the film doesn't come and say, okay, so you must go and do that program now. You know, there's not a one size fits all solution. It's we're all different, we're all unique. The way that we parent is all unique, and so there's a plethora of opportunity of courses and services and support out there. Choose which best fits you. And so, yes, we do some work in the parent space as well. And I run filial therapy, and we do the play therapy and parent coaching and whatever. Um, but there's so much great free stuff on their website. And I love that they've created that as well, that you're just not left there hanging. You know,
Yeah.
Maggie comes on at the end going, that was a lot, here's the QR code, will take you exactly where you need to go. And I love that there's a lot of free content. Yeah, there's some paid stuff as well, but there's a lot of support there. I mean, I've got the
Yeah.
the book that I picked, and I love it. So good, so good.
Yeah.
Um, there's probably, I think Sam and Haley would have their own hopes to what the take-home message would be from people who saw the film. What would be yours?
Hope,
Mm.
and you're not alone. For me again it's all about the connecting and the sharing. It's to just show that there's lots of people out there like you and you're not there's nothing wrong with you for maybe struggling with where you are right now, and there is hope of you being able and supported to change that. And you don't have to do that alone. Please don't think you need to do that alone, because you will not. It's just,
Yeah.
you won't, like, you can't, and it shouldn't be expected either. Like, it's like you were never taught how to do some of these things, and you can't just do that by yourself. So reach out and accept help, receive help.
Yeah. Beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. Connection's so important. I literally named my business Connected Play and Counsel for that reason, because to me it was the one thing that spoke to the importance of everything and all the work we do. It's that
Same.
nothing happens in isolation.
Yeah.
And
Only
it takes a
shame and
village.
guilt happens in isolation.
Sorry?
Only shame and guilt happens.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
And we've
Yeah,
got enough of that. We need to
we do. Yeah,
connect and share.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. All right. Well, my final question to you, and the question on everybody's lips is, will there be a sequel?
I have no information on that.
Oh,
I don't know if I'll
I've
be
got.
allowed to share it. No, I don't know. What would a
I mean,
sequel look like? I don't
I
know.
don't know either. I've just got a really great hashtag. Seen the film twice.
I love it. I love it. That's reason enough, I think, for us to make a
I reckon,
sequel.
I reckon too. I mean, it's literally still doing the rounds. So I mean, I'm very,
Yes.
I'm jumping the gun significantly, but yeah, I just think how beautiful it would be to do some sort of follow up, and I'm sure that the clever people at Scene will have their own ideas about that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, to be quite honest, for me, even watching myself now and going back to when that interview happened, that's meanwhile, what, 2-ish years ago, and I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah,
So even for me, it's like
yeah,
I've grown another, don't know how many levels, but it's like it keeps happening. It also just doesn't stop. Like you think like, oh my God,
never.
she's done it. No, 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 no. It keeps going.
Kind of annoying, isn't it? Because you're like, where's the end? Where's the gold medal? I've done this. Like, I need a high five myself.
And you should celebrate
Of
your
course.
success. And I'm
Yes.
very
Yeah.
proud of that person, just as
Good.
I am of that person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't stop. In
No,
case
it's lifelong, lifelong. We're lifelong learners. That's it. It's a journey. It's a bit
yeah,
like when your children, unlock the next level. Yeah, you're just like, I just got used to them at that age and doing that stage, and now what? There's another
yeah,
one. Yeah, it's big, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
yeah.
Thank you so, so much. My absolute heartfelt gratitude to you, Anne, for this chat. It's been an absolute blessing. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for sharing the film and believing in it. And yeah,
Number one fan.
yes, good.
All right. Thank you so much.
No worries.